Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor that I stand before you today as a recipient of the 2024 National TRIO Award. This moment reflects the collective efforts of many who have mentored and inspired me along my journey. I'm speaking here today in my personal capacity about how the University of Missouri and TRIO helped shape that journey. In 15 years as a U.S. diplomat, I have had the privilege of serving our nation at home and abroad. My path to becoming a U.S. diplomat was not without its challenges. I was a first-generation college student, or first gen, from a socioeconomically disadvantaged background. Growing up in Branson, Missouri, a town nestled along Lake Taneycomo in the scenic Ozark Hills, a career in the U.S. Foreign Service seemed like an impossible dream. My dad was a delivery driver, my mom was a daycare worker. A college degree seemed unattainable, but I worked between classes during the day while burning the midnight oil, studying books. Like many first gens, extracurricular activities were luxuries I could not afford. I was equally worried about my own financial insecurity as I was my parents' financial struggles, which continues to this day, a shared first-gen experience we call survivor's guilt. But here I am today, representing the American dream that our democracy fosters and initiatives like TRIO bring to life. By providing scholarships for first gens, TRIO opened doors that once seemed firmly shut, providing me with opportunities to achieve what I once thought impossible. It was there in those spaces at the University of Missouri that I built a professional network, advanced academically, and received inspiration and mentorship from my McNair mentor and administrators. This includes one of my personal champions, Jeremy Bloss, Assistant Director of the McNair Scholars Program at the University of Missouri, who is here tonight. Since completing a master's degree at Georgetown University, I've implemented national security policy, fostered cross-cultural ties, promoted peace and prosperity through roles at the State Department and the Office of the Vice President. In addition to my professional life, I'm a proud father of two smart, talented, and funny kids. I've been married for nearly 15 years to my lovely and supportive wife, Margarita, who is also a Foreign Service Specialist currently serving abroad with my kids. Adversity faced by first gens is not always visible. This includes first-gen professionals. In fact, first gens spend much of their professional lives hiding identifiers that may indicate to their peers that they grew up poor. This is because children in poverty needlessly bear the burden of shame despite having no responsibility for their circumstances. Imprinted during our childhood, this badge of shame remains through our profession. The badge is invisible but heavy. It weighs as heavy as granite, filled to the brim with self-doubt, apprehension, and insecurity. Nationally, of the undergraduates attending university, over 50% are first gens, and of those, only 25% are expected to complete and obtain a college degree. As a first-gen graduate, imagine entering an uncharted profession, faced daily with the challenge to fight invisibility. Invisibility faced by first-gen professionals includes not just financial concerns, but social stigma, discrimination, lack of a professional network and expertise navigating a profession, and psychological challenges. Moreover, as first-gen professionals enjoy the benefits of upward social mobility, they're learning to live in a new environment that is disassociated from their home. As a result, they may feel a lack of belonging to both their professional environment and their family and friends of origin, creating greater feelings of isolation. Entering the U.S. Department of State in 2009, I knew I belonged, but I didn't always feel like the organization wanted me there. Historically, the State Department, the first named federal department in the U.S. Constitution, had a reputation for employing individuals from social and financial privilege. I think the best way to describe this for folks is it's kind of like stepping out of the trailer park, walking into the country club at the golf course. You're a member, but everyone thinks you're a caddy. Understanding that invisibility is why in 2022, alongside several first-gen colleagues, we founded FirstGens at State. It's an employee organization of professionals that supports the U.S. Department of State's efforts to retain and recruit first-gens, including TRIO alums. Today, FirstGens at State has fostered a community of over 600 members who can self-identify as a first-gen in the State Department's workforce data collection system to better understand socioeconomic representation. In November 2023, the State Department marked FirstGen College Student Celebration Day for the first time in its history. Our organization has conducted numerous financial literacy workshops to help our first-gen peers. We are committed to making the U.S. Department of State the employer of choice for first-gens. The State Department demonstrated that commitment at this conference. Our national recruiter and diplomat in residence can be found at the State Department's recruitment booth in the exhibition hall, and they're also here with us tonight. Dave and Eric. Look, I stand before you as a small part of a greater story that is still unfolding our nation's history. In envisioning our future, I hope the story of our great nation will be one of social mobility, equality, and American grit. I hope it inspires minds, young and old, to innovate, explore, and create. I hope it upholds our basic freedoms, human rights, and liberties. But folks, this won't happen organically. In fact, there is no guarantee of any of this. The challenges around social mobility underscore the urgent need for action. There is no guarantee that the argument for socioeconomic representation within the professional spaces will hold. We have to recognize that our presence in uncharted spaces and our personal stories threatens the norms and status quo about who benefits from today's version of American meritocracy. However, building off the work of the U.S. government, starting with federal public service makes sense. A federal workforce that mirrors our socioeconomic diversity embodies the American dream and reflects the values preserved in our democracy. It inspires students that despite circumstances at your birth, you can aspire to serve your country across the federal government. It means that your voice, too, matters deeply. Recruiting first-gen graduates makes the hiring process more competitive, too, ensuring federal agencies benefit from a talented pool of candidates. If you level the playing field by reducing barriers to entrance, talent and merit will rise to the top. This is also a national security imperative. We need the best and brightest to serve our country on the battlefield, in the diplomatic arena, and in cyberspace. Furthermore, by enhancing socioeconomic representation, we will build greater confidence between the U.S. government and the communities experiencing today's greatest economic challenges. Socioeconomically diverse public servants provide deeper insights into those economic challenges and ensure equal support across all communities, not just those of privilege. My journey is a testament to the transforming power of education, perseverance, and service. Now I call on all of you to take the following message back home. First, as you develop TRIO alumni programs, encourage your alums to create similar employer organizations within their workplace. In building a community of support and ecosystem where first-gens can thrive, your first-gen students will have an easier path to serve in uncharted professions. Second, urge first-gen representation in professional workplaces. If we are to build trust between the professional and working classes, foster social mobility, and end relational poverty, socioeconomic representation is a long-term insurance policy for greater national unity, resilience, and prosperity. Lastly, mindful there is little that an employer or student can do to counter classism within the workplace since there are no legal protections in place for socioeconomic class, let's ensure a student's class has absolutely no bearing on the merit, talent, and character of the student's college or job application. And as a start, let's end legacy and mission preferences on the college application. I'm honored to be among such distinguished recipients. I look forward to contributing to the mission of the Council for Opportunity and Education. I want to give a special thank you to Kimberly Jones and Tommy Walls and others at the COE. These are individuals I owe much gratitude to. Now, folks, go tell your own story, share it, and act on the vision we desire for our country. Thank you.